Hi everyone, this is the second video from this module on how to use the normal calculator. So again, let me show you how you would find this. If you were in Blackboard and went to week 11 and you clicked on the link, normal curve calculator, it would take you right to the website. If you needed to search in Google, you would go to the Google search and type in normal curve calculator and then click on the first link. So there's a couple different ways to get there. Alright, so let's take a look at this problem. So for this problem we're going to be looking at, let me see if I can zoom in just a little here. We're going to be looking at the height of women in the United States. And based on some information that's easily out there, although there is some minor differences in the acceptable numbers, but this is pretty close, and for purposes of this class we'll keep them nice numbers. The average height of an adult woman in the U.S. is 64 inches, that's 5'4", with a standard deviation of 4 inches. So, below is the table showing all the scores and then the z-scores. Remember that z is 0, that's how many standard deviations you are away if you are located right in the center of the distribution. So this would be a 0. If you go one standard deviation to the right, so you've added 4 to the 64, that's a z-score of 1. And if you add another 4, that's a z-score of 2. You've added 4 twice. And if you add one more time, you get to 76, so that would be a z-score of 3. To go backwards from the center, the z-scores would be -1, because you'd subtract 4. -2, you would subtract 4 again. And -3. You would have subtracted 4 a third time. Okay, so anyway, let's type this in so that it looks similar to what we have over here on the right. So to get my numbers to line up, I just have to put in the information listed above. So right here I have to put this in, the mean and standard deviation. So that goes in these two boxes, the mean and the standard deviation. And as you can see in my picture here, the bottom numbers actually correspond nicely to the picture that's here on the left. So you notice the 64 is in the middle, the 52 is at the end. Alright, so let's take a look at some of the questions they might ask. The first question they ask is, what's the probability that a randomly selected woman has a height between 68 and 76? So that's right here, between 68 and 76 inches. And this is how I would write it as a probability statement. Alright, so over here on the right, all I have to do is change this radio button. Remember, this is key to between. And I hit the button here, and I type in 68, 76, and hit enter after the 76, or hit recalculate, and it shows me that it's about 16%. Alright, so 16% of the women are 5'8" through 6'4", which seems a bit high. Alright, let's take a look at some of the other problems that we could do. Alright, so on this page, let's see what we have. What's the probability that the height is between 52 and 68 inches? Alright, again, I'm on between. I just have to change these numbers. 52. 68. Again, I'm hitting enter, and you can see that the probability is 84%. So 84% of the women are 5'8" and shorter, or 5'8" to 5 foot. Well, I don't know. What is that? 4 foot. I can't do the math that quickly. 4'4". All right, I'm good. All right, so this is 84%. What's the probability that a woman's height is less than 56 inches? So since there's less, I have to change to below. So if I change that to 56 and press enter, you see that it's only a small amount in my picture here that women are 4'8" and below. So that's only about 2% of the population. Alright, so let's try the next one. So this is my answer here, 2%. Alright, so the next question says, what's the probability that the woman's height is more than 60 inches? So you see the word more than, I have to do above, and we're going to do 60 inches in here and press enter. And you can see that it shades in all the way to the right. So what's the probability the woman is 5 foot tall or taller? And that again is about 84%. Alright, so the next one, it says what is the probability the random woman's height is below average? Well, what's average? Well, average is the same as mean. So I'm looking below, so I gotta say below, and I want it to be the average. And the average height is 64. And if I do that, well, that kind of makes sense. If the average is 64 inches, then half the women are below that height, and half the women are above that height. Alright, so I think that is where I'm going to end the video now, and I'll do another example with some other problems later in this packet. I hope you enjoyed.